Video Days Off by Connect TV, proudly sponsored by ESBC Boxing Game and brought to you in association with Empire Fight Store. I am here backstage at MTK Global Show in York Hall. I'm delighted to be joined by the champ, Jordan Gill. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, thank you.
Good to see you here, obviously supporting your teammate, Sultan.
Yes, I'm feeling better now that he's won. He's done a good job, and it was an exciting fight.
Let's talk about his fight, because obviously I had Dave, both of your coach, Dave Caldwell, in here for an interview shortly before. He was talking about, you know, the little kind of the drop, you know, getting clipped like that, coming back from that, and his performance, and you know the relationship, I suppose, between him and Sultan and how it's developing. For you, you know, you're in there every day, you're seeing him in the gym. Was that a performance, kind of a glimpse of what we can expect to see from Sultan?
Yeah, you know, he's high action, high power, accuracy, good feet. He sets stuff up very well. He got that Kazakh style, but he's a good long southpaw. He's an exciting fighter, and I think he's going to be an exciting fight. And we did see glimpses of what he's like, but I know that he's better than that. And obviously, he did get clipped. He come forward, lifted back high. There was no real weight on his leg to support him, and he got clipped. You know, it was a flash knockdown. Yeah. He got up. He almost knocked the guy out in the same round.
Yes.
And you know, he showed his character, because you know, before you go, they're talking about Sultan becoming world champion, winning world title fights. Before you go into these world title fights, you want to have been dropped, you want to have to be down on the cards, you want to have hard rounds, you want to have to feel a body shot. You know, you have to have them experience to get to that level, or to be able to deal with them things when they come at that level, because they're going to. So
absolutely, yeah, it's such a good point, you know, and it's something that we kind of on media row there. That's the beauty of media front row. We get to see kind of, you know, and I love to look at facial expressions of the fighters when they get into maybe a little bit of deep waters, and to see how he came back from that. You could see it in him. The fighter came out, it was very clear in his face. You know, that's something that you will definitely appreciate as well. That's something that your fans recognise in you as well. We say it time and time again, that can't be learned, I suppose. It's in you, or it's not.
That's it. It can't be taught. You've got that in you, or you haven't. You know, sometimes you have to have a nasty streak. Sometimes you have to tough it out. And Sultan Zorbek has come from Kazakhstan. You know, after the massive amateur career he's come over to England. He doesn't speak anything but Russian. And he can say bro in English. He's come over from Kazakhstan. He's left his wife, he's left his friends, he's left his family. He's got a 6-month-old little girl. He's left them all in Kazakhstan to come and box in York Hall. So if he gets dropped, he's not going to stay on the floor, is he? Because he's going to get up and he's going to fight for his country. He's going to fight for his baby girl. He's going to fight for his wife, because he's missing them, and all them sacrifices that he's made them for a reason. He made them to make a better life for them. So he wants to go back to Kazakhstan a champion, and he will.
Absolutely. Again, a really, really good point, Jordan. And it's something that it was brought up this weekend, actually, and I saw in kind of the Matchroom DAZN week of fights, obviously with Conor Benn fighting tomorrow night at Van Heerden. It was that, you know, between Conor, Campbell Hatton, all these guys who've come from a background maybe where of privilege, where they don't have to box, they don't have that you know, they have alternative options, will we say, but they still choose to and still show up and fight their hearts out. Is it important, you know, do you have to come from a place of struggle to do this, or do you have to come from that sort of, you know, be able to get to a place inside you where you can fight and the kind of natural fighter comes out?
It's hard for me to say, because, you know, everybody's so different, and there's so many variables in boxing. There's so many things that can go wrong, and there's so many times where people can show toughness that they've never shown before, and everyone's like, where's that come from? Yeah. So, you know, I don't know if there's one specific style or one specific lifestyle that's led to that point to bring them to that toughness, but I just think you either got it or you haven't, and you know, I haven't come from a major struggle. You know, I don't have to box. I've got 9 A's and 2 B's at GCSE. I've got an A level in government and politics. I've got an A level
no
in
way, do you actually?
Psychology, sports science.
Wow.
And I could have gone to university and done anything I wanted, but I chose to box. And I think sometimes, like Conor Benn, he doesn't have to box. He's come from a life of privilege. His dad's Nigel Benn. You know, he's grown up with opportunity. And sometimes that makes you more dangerous, because you want it, you want to do it for yourself, and you can't go into a boxing ring to please your coach or the promoter or the crowd or your sponsors. You have to do it for you. And if you're doing it for anyone else, then when it goes and gets tough, then you will quit. So I think because you're doing it for yourself, then you want it.
Absolutely. Really, really good points. God, you're good at this. You really. It's like you've done this before, Jordan. But before I let you go, I the last time that I was at your fight week, I was like, when I get Jordan in for an interview next, I want to talk to him about you and your dad and what you guys are doing within the community with the gym and stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. Growing up where I grew up, which is Finland, South Finland is one of the poorest places in the country. The least. We don't get much. There's not much to do. If you want to go to the park, there's no like play swings and stuff in the park. There's not much for anyone to do. So I wanted to give back to the community. We don't have many sports stars at all. When you turn the TV on and you want to watch the Olympics, it's always someone else from somewhere else. Yeah. You can never, in my area, you can never turn a TV on and say, I know that bloke, he lives up the road from me, or he went to the same school as me, or he gets his hair cut from my auntie at the barber's. Yeah. And we just don't have that in the area. So I'm doing what I'm doing. I've become European champion, hopefully going on to become a world champion, representing Finland, representing my area. And it gives the kids that have no hope whatsoever to achieve anything, it gives them hope. And that's what I want to do. So we've started a non-for-profit organisation called Gill Next Generation. We're going into schools, we're going into youth clubs. We've got contracts with 3 schools at the moment, going into schools and getting them communicating, getting their self-esteem boosted. We're doing little bits of boxing, we're making them talk about themselves, we're getting them communicating really well. We've seen a massive improvement in behaviour with the kids that we work with. And, we're not getting the normal kids, we're getting the naughty ones. And it's even better because they've got great character. And we're getting that character and that energy, and we're making them use it in the right ways. We want them to be active members of society. We want to reduce antisocial behaviour. Yes. And we have made a big difference in the short amount of time that we've been in the schools. We've been doing it, and my dad's been going in, delivering most of the work. We've been going into, like I said, 3 schools. We've been going into after-school groups. We've been running after-school clubs in each 3 of them schools. We've got a community group in Wisbeach, which is a very deprived area in Finland, and we were doing good work there. But we're aiming now. Our next step is to get our own facility. So we're aiming to get our own facility. We're in a few conversations about that, because that'll allow us to do the work that we need. Because every time we're going into the schools, all the kids are like, oh, this is brilliant. We only get an hour a week with them. Mm-hmm. And they're like, can we come to your gym? Where's your gym? Can we come after school? And we're like, we can't, because we haven't got a facility. So that's the next step. Mm-hmm. We're going to make a big difference. We already have. It's only going to get better. So yeah.
Absolutely. I love hearing it, because it's like, for them to have you, a European champion, as I say, will go on to be world champion, to have you at the gym and in their corner as well, that's a huge, like you say, boost for them, to look back in years and to have that, desire as well, and to see that if you've done it, anyone can do it. But what you're doing, the program that you've put in place, I imagine it's not easy to do it, and it is a lot of hard work, but you have the answers to how we can tackle antisocial behaviour within communities, and how boxing can help, can save lives, and inspire the next generation. So what would you, if somebody from a government body was watching this, what would you say to them on how they could go and implement this in more communities? Because there doesn't seem to be anyone, taking the initiative to step in there and do something.
Yeah, definitely. I think the government needs to open their eyes and see all the good work for years and years and years. Amateur boxing clubs and boxing organisations, and like any sports organisations, they've always been underfunded, especially boxing. And I think if the government opens their eyes and looks at the positive impact that boxing has on so many lives, and not everybody's going to become a British champion, not everybody's going to become a European champion, some might not even ever have an amateur fight in their lives. But if they're in the gym, they're not out causing trouble. They're not out, egging houses at Halloween and nicking, someone's post box, because, it happens. And if the kids ain't got nothing else to do, they will do it. And like I said, if I'm going into these schools where they've never had a sports night in 50 years, which they haven't, and they're seeing that I've got 2 arms, 2 legs, I'm coming with the European belt. And I went to that same school, I had the same teachers as them. I went and got my lunch in the same dinner queue that they did, and I had to queue up. Then it makes it real for them. And they think, oh, He's got two arms, two legs. He speaks the same as me. He's from my area. He lives on the road next to me. Why can't I do it? If you put the time, you put the dedication in, and you work hard, and you listen to the good people that you got around you, there's no reason why you can't do it. But it's always too easy to go off track.
Yeah.
And we live in a society which is buy now, pay later. So kids are going home from school, they're going to the house, and their mum and dad aren't there because they're going to work to pay for all their new shoes. They're going to pay for the PlayStation. Yeah. And so who's making them tea? Who's sitting them to read a book, or even sitting down and watching TV with your mum and dad? Simple things to install values and install morals in their kids. They're not around, so we need organisations like this to pick up. We need things to be funded, things to provide an opportunity for kids, and kids that come through the door in the amateur boxing club that we had in Chatteris when I was growing up. We had so many kids, kid after kid after kid, that improved their grades because they was at boxing. They had the focus, myself included. I first went to boxing gym 4 years old because I was running around. I had that much energy. I was playing kiss chase with the boys and the girls. I was hyperactive. They had to take me swimming before school, and they had to take me boxing after school. So and boxing calm me down. It made give me something to focus on. It gave me something to use my energy for, and it made me better at school. Like I said, I left school with all them things that no one ever expected. I was never meant to get them grades, but I made it. They made it me understand that it was possible.
Absolutely. Well, what a final perfect note to leave our interview on, Jordan. I wish you best of luck with the organisation. Where can everyone find out more about it before I let you go?
Okay, you can check out Jordan Gill Next Generation on Instagram, Twitter. I think we've got Facebook as well, so put in JG Next Gen, or on my Instagram page you're going to see it at some point. My dad's posting all the videos on the Instagram page. We're getting all the kids on the pads, and we've just done a holiday project as well. So we're lucky to have Petru Brothers, which is a good food source in Chatteris. They provided free meals for all the kids. Kids that can't afford food whilst their mum and dad at work, whilst we're on the Easter holidays. Kids that can afford it but just want some food. It's good. We had a good time.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Jordan Gill for Fight Connect TV. Thank you very much.